Hello, everyone. It's April 13, 2021, and you're watching me, Nikki Yu, also known as Business Trader for the Awesome10X Global Market Update. Okay, so let's begin. Today, we're going to say that the biggest news is actually NVIDIA. NVIDIA is breaking out of $600, something that we haven't seen for the last 6 months. And the catalyst here is, of course, NVIDIA is sharing. I'm going to share the exact news. There's actually a conference call tonight. Jensen Huang's going to discuss NVIDIA related news. It has nothing to do with cryptocurrency mining. It has to do with the fact that they are waiting for the ARMS deal. They're going to unveil the ARMS server CPU, and they're gonna make central processing units, and they're gonna go after Intel. So tonight is the investor day, AI computing leadership from NVIDIA. So we will actually try to watch out for this analyst day. It's gonna happen tonight. So some people are already sharing. So I'm gonna read a few things that will happen. All right. So Jim Cramer recommended shares of buying NVIDIA shares, and true enough, if you look at the chart of NVIDIA, this is an automatic breakout buy. So for a while now, I've been thinking, hey, is NVIDIA going to break out? I think that tonight it is the catalyst. And what are the catalysts for the announcements of NVIDIA? Let's try to understand. So this is the 2021 keynote of NVIDIA. You want to actually watch it if you have time. Let's try to understand a few things, maybe the highlights on this keynote address of Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. It's 2 hours, so let's just try to see the important ones. So there's a lot of discussion. They discussed about AI, computing. A lot of people are, of course, news for it's 2 hours, and I think that everyone wants to listen to this, to why everything that you would appreciate in the next 10 years, the heart of it is actually NVIDIA, the heart and brain. So let's watch straight from Jensen Huang. Okay.
I am a creator. Blending art and technology. To immerse our senses. I am a healer, helping us take the next step and see what's possible. I am a pioneer, finding life-saving answers. And pushing the edge to the outer limits. I am a guardian, defending our oceans. And the magnificent creatures that call them home. I am a protector, helping the earth breathe easier. and watching over it for generations to come. I am a storyteller, giving emotion to words and bringing them to life. I am even the composer of the music. I am AI, brought to life by NVIDIA, deep learning, and brilliant minds everywhere.
There are powerful forces shaping the world's industries. Accelerated computing that we pioneered
has supercharged scientific discovery while providing the computer industry a path forward. Artificial intelligence, particularly, has seen incredible advances. With NVIDIA GPUs, computers learn, and software writes software no human can. The AI software is delivered as a service from the cloud, performing automation at the speed of light. Software is now composed of microservices that scale across the entire data center, treating the data center as a single unit of computing. AI and 5G are the ingredients to kickstart the fourth industrial revolution, where automation and robotics can be deployed to far edges of the world. There is one more miracle we need: the metaverse, a virtual world that is a digital twin of ours. Welcome to GTC 2021. We're going to talk about these dynamics and more. Let me give you the architecture of my talk. It's organized in 4 stacks. This is how we work. As a full stack computing platform company, the flow also reflects the waves of AI and how we're expanding the reach of our platform to solve new problems and to enter new markets. First is Omniverse, built from the ground up on NVIDIA's body of work. It is a platform to create and simulate virtual worlds. We'll feature many applications of Omniverse, like design collaboration, simulation, and future robotic factories. The second stack is DGX and high-performance data centers. I'll feature Bluefield, new DGXs, new chips, and the new work we're doing in AI, drug discovery, and quantum computing. Here I'll also talk about ARM and new ARM partnerships. The third stack is one of our most important new platforms, NVIDIA EGX with Aerial 5G. Now enterprises and industries can do AI and deploy AI on 5G. We'll talk about NVIDIA AI and pre-trained models like Jarvis Conversational AI. And finally, our work with the auto industry to revolutionize the future of transportation, NVIDIA Drive. We'll talk about new chips, new platforms and software, and lots of new customers. Let's get started. Scientists, researchers, developers, and creators.
Okay, I had to stop you right there, but I just wanted everyone here who's new to actually check out my NVIDIA $1 trillion opportunity. This is actually inside Awesome10X. I gave it as a free class. This is it. It's NVIDIA $1 trillion company. I discussed why even at $500 then, that NVIDIA was representing a move to at least $1,500. Right now, NVIDIA is trading at $600. And in the short term, I do think NVIDIA goes $700. And in the long term, I don't change my view. It is a $1,500 company. It's a $1 trillion company. It could even span bigger than $1 trillion. And I think that for everyone here who's an Awesome10X member or not a member, do check out this important keynote straight from NVIDIA's website. It's very important that the stock is also confirming what we felt that it was. I agree with what he is saying. Stock is going to be the cheapest stock in terms of semiconductors and chip makers. It's a mistake for investors to even call NVIDIA overvalued, not when you understand the growth trajectory of this company. NVIDIA right now is trading at $377 billion, going up to $608. The shares, we should be lucky, guys, that Jensen Huang is sharing to us the future. Artificial intelligence in everything that we do. Deep learning, not just in the computers to understand drug discovery, art and technology intertwined for gaming, metaverse. It's really literally every industry. Gaming, data centers, um, chatbots, self-driving cars. You want to understand how Microsoft and Nvidia, I like this one, how Microsoft and Nvidia work hand in hand, even Google, how they work hand in hand. So, and how Nvidia and Qualcomm are all designed together. Nvidia's and Qualcomm Snapdragon. Snapdragon is really also a wonderful semiconductor. So it actually tells me that people who are telling me that Nikki is the market bearish, should we actually liquidate? It's very wrong. I think like what you should be seeing is that even if I couldn't predict what's gonna happen day in, day out, my answer is that if you've got a company that you know or have determined from your studies that's gonna be the heart actually of the entire future, the entire secular trends, may it be 5G, telematics, infotainment, cloud center, uh, cloud computing, data centers, gaming, metaverse, self-driving cars, you have to ensure to yourself that you own it. So Qualcomm is also a very important company when it comes to the semiconductor space. And what you're seeing is that whenever people ask me, Nikki, what are your semiconductor ideas? I always tell them NVIDIA and Qualcomm. I really believe that those two are the most powerful semiconductors. But that said, given how big this entire spectrum of winners are, does it mean that Xilinx isn't a buy? Actually, that's not true. I like Xilinx as well for the 5G formats. So Xilinx here about $124. The drops last night. To be honest, even at 105 and $80, that was a great opportunity. But so I know that money is limited for everyone. So if I had to choose, of course, which company, I'd always go for NVIDIA. Always. But it also tells you that from a technical standpoint, let me share to you what people are so afraid of. I'll read to you a few numbers here. So there's this news that a large chunk of the retail investing crowd started during the pandemic, and most of these, they're saying, are rise of retail, are not trained to actually think in the long term, and their appetite for short-term profits is actually very huge, such that these people could cause a market crash. That's what some pundits are saying, that these people are over leveraged. There's about 50% margin. And to be honest, these Americans, or not just Americans, but the entire foreign public, you have to understand that the unprecedented market volatility gave an investing opportunity to these people. Example, I'm at home and I have time and I want to work and I don't have work. Let's say I don't have a job. What am I gonna do? Of course, I want to have an additional source of income. And so I think that the people who are generally investing to these types of companies, especially the companies that they like, given that huge buying opportunity in 2020, are really in it to be there for the long term. I'd say that some might actually favor short-term gains, but there's also a slew of investors. You call them a new generation of Reddit-fueled investors, or even the GameStop meme stock players, or even the DDTG Republic, the Davy Dave Trader Global, Trading Global, those traders. I think that what happened is that this is a bullish reason to be confident that there's a huge pie who loves stocks. That's actually a bullish thing. And you actually want to see participation not simply by hedge funds, but by everyone. Like, do you want only the huge funds to be the owners of your artificial intelligence leaders? And I think what happened in 2020 and what's translating to 2021 is that with the abundance of liquidity, these SPACs is actually a good thing. Special purpose acquisition companies allowed pre-revenue companies to get money And that allowed people who wanted to invest in Luminar Technologies, in Ouster, in Innovis Technologies, all the LiDAR firms that are helping handle the self-driving revolution, it's their money, it's their own risk. And these SPACs, we're talking about $500 billion being raised in 2020 and 2021. That is actually a significant sum, but it's also a sum that means that we aren't just inflating the economy, we are creating jobs. Because every time you allow a $1 billion company to get listed out there, that $1 billion is allowing them to construct battery recycling companies, construct a storage firm for a solar firm, raising money for sustainable energy, deploying $1 trillion towards charging stations is a great thing. We are saving the world by investing in indoor farms for food security purposes. So I think like whether it's $100 million IPO or it's $1 billion, to provide money to the companies like Grab, to provide companies money and listing Airbnbs of the world. E-commerce, these resilient companies like your Shopee, your Alibabas, well, it's listed already. So they just went up. That's a good thing. Giving fintech firms like companies like Pioneer, which is FTalk, PaySafe, which is BFT, companies that are allowing people to do online sports betting and encouraging tax revenues from it. That's a wonderful thing. So I think when people discuss about the market bubble, the market printing money and inflation, what they don't understand is if you print money for the sole reason of printing money, that causes inflation. But if you print money and allocate that money towards companies that are innovating the future, creating jobs, creating wealth, which is really what the economy should be doing, that will actually get us out of our depression, quagmire. It actually helps people not just generate income for their families, but actually make the world a better place. So, do I agree with all these biodegradable plastics? The answer is yes. Cleaning our oceans is our priority because we have to. Nestle and Danone are clients of Origin Materials. And I think like AACQ doing a SPAC with them is a wonderful thing. So, to be honest, when the markets are creating these opportunities, retail investors, hedge funds, and VCs, and everyone who's investing in the markets are doing the right thing. And I'd like to share a few things to people about how the biggest investor in the world actually looks at stocks. This is how Warren Buffett looks at stocks, and I teach this to people. You want to look to buy into businesses instead of simply looking at them as stocks. The difference is subtle but enormously important. And that's true. That's how I made money when I look at stocks as a business. If you're looking to buy stocks, you don't have commitment on it. It's just transaction. I bought a cup of coffee. It's a transaction. I'm not owning Starbucks. It's just equivalent to what? A one-night stand. But when you're looking at investing in a company, you want to be an owner because you are. When you hear about NVIDIA, I am AI, you want to dig deep into it. Hey, how does NVIDIA play into artificial intelligence as a secular trend? I want to align myself with a business that I can see a future with because I strongly believe in that business prospect and I believe in the secular trend. And this is what Buffett said. If you couldn't even be willing to invest in it for a decade, don't even own it for 10 minutes. You focus on high quality. Printing money is printing money. But if you're printing money and putting that cash into high quality assets, you will be saved from inflation. Not just about beauty. Not just about, well, it's got a great sexy price performance today, and I think it's going to be a great sexy performance in the next 10 years. That is just one criteria. Price performance is a variable that I do use, but it's not the only criteria. You want to bet in a reason like this. Think about it. You're looking for a life partner. The divorce rate in a country is about 50%. You don't go into marriage thinking that, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll just be part of that 50% statistic that will do divorce. This is the difference between traders and investors. Traders often preach that, oh, the biggest trait for me to win is to actually be a great cut losser, meaning I'm good at cutting losses. That's actually not a great recipe, by the way, for an investor. Because an investor who frequently sells and frequently cuts a loss means that he is always choosing mistakes. He's not a good investor if he always chooses mistakes. Because a good investor is somebody who is infrequently selling. Because if he is convinced of the long-term value, he just continues to buy, not about the hot industry, but where the trends are getting into alignment in the next 5 to 10 years. If that answer was NVIDIA in the last July 2020, even in 2017 or 2018, 2019, 2020, you don't change your views just because, oh, it's $600, I'm changing my view. No, you don't. The question that you ask yourself is, at 600, where is it going to go? If it goes to 500, should I buy more? If it goes to 900, what should I do? Where is it going? That should be your question. So you only buy a company as an investor because with careful analysis and thought, you want to buy that business to own it for life, technically speaking. And usually, if you start out with that thing, if you start out with the assumption that you can only buy and never sell, because that's the criteria that my dad had for me. When my dad told me, Nikki, you're supposed to just buy and never sell, I had to think hard. I had to think hard, even if it was just a 100,000 or it doesn't matter about the amount. If you are looking to marry somebody, it's very different. It's kind of like, this is the reason why I always use analogy with marriage and one night stands and girlfriends, because when you're a trader, the only thing that you're thinking about is not getting the girl pregnant. I could just court everyone, and as long as I can cut my loss, I'm done. I'm not getting her pregnant, so what? I can just cruise and play around. Whereas, okay, I see a lot of girls. Let's assume I'm a guy. I see a lot of women, very beautiful, but I'm not intending to really marry them. I just want to have a one-night stand. If I start off with the thinking that I have a one-night stand, look what's going to happen. My criteria filter will be very low. Because technically, if I'm just going to spend the night with them, it's not going to take a lot of time for me because it's just a one-night stand. But if I had only one chance to be with one person, I'm going to have to think further. Hey, what if this guy is crazy? What if this girl is crazy? I have to think with more variables rather than just one night. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that divorce is not allowed with your companies, but frequent divorce actually tells me that you're not choosing the criteria for a good marriage partner. Nothing wrong about divorce. I have no problem with that. That's the beauty in businesses, in stocks, because I could divorce you whether I want to divorce you tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. But me, because I've tried to do business, and one of the easiest ways to really make money while sleeping is finding great businesses and looking at stocks as a business. And then deploying more, averaging it up over time, and then really selecting a diverse set of businesses that you can just make money while sleeping in. That's really how I do it. So I don't look at all of my stocks as if they're just a stock. So since this is like open to you anyway, I'll show you what I'm doing. So example, inside eToro, I've got 25 stocks. I've got Alibaba, Baidu, Sea Limited, Spotify, Neo, Palantir, this is a crypto, Palantir, Agora, right? Zoom, Teladoc, Beyond Meat, Fastly. I don't care if Beyond Meat goes $125 tonight. I don't care if Fastly goes $60. I chose it because I felt that, okay, even if it went to $60, will it go to $90 or $85 or $100 at some point in time? So meaning when I buy a company, I acknowledge already that, okay, my system is not going to be perfect. There will be drops here and there. I could not prevent my system to always have a perfect 10 out of 10 or 25 over 25. But my idea is that if I choose these 25 companies or 30 companies, 5 of them will probably go 100x, or sorry, not 100x, maybe 10x, 5 of them over time. Maybe 10 will be 1x or 50%. And then I'd even lose 50% on maybe 5 of them. And then the other 5 break even, maybe up 5, up 10%, nothing like that. But if you assume that in 25 companies, even if only 5 companies do a 10x for you, that 5 companies are more than enough to obliterate all your mistakes. Meaning, it's really it's how venture capitalist system also does. They can have 10 companies, even if one company were the only 10x, the other 9 were just duds. They still got their money back. So in my view, I assess a company based on the risk reward of that company as a business. And that's how I would say most Awesome 10x investors should be behaving in their portfolio. So I think like just spend your day to day watching the NVIDIA GTC keynote, understand the NVIDIA analyst highlights, the impacts, and what's going to happen to NVIDIA versus Intel and AMD. But the market already answered it for you. The market already answered that Intel and AMD are going to lose, NVIDIA is going to win, and that's what's important. And do you have a winner in your portfolio? And if you don't, your assumption should be have more winners in your portfolio. That's it. Thank you very much. Read more about NVIDIA tonight.